friends. All right, so this is the review for 3.1 and 3.2, reflections and translations. So number 1 says, what is the rule for the translation? We got to pick a point A, B, C, or D on the pre-image. I'm just going to pick B here. Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right. And then 1, 2, 3 down. So our translation, right, according to the vector, we're going 7 to the right. So that's positive. And then 3 down is -3. Okay. So 7 to the right and 3 down. If we looked at A, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right, 1, 2, 3 down. C, we're going 7 to the right, 3 down. D, we're going 7 to the right, 3 down. So it doesn't matter what point we pick. We're going 7 right, 3 down. Okay, and then we really should put in parentheses here, we're reflecting the quadrilateral A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D. This is what we are, I'm sorry, translating. This is what we are translating. Okay, and this is the vector we're translating by. All right, number 2, find the coordinates of K prime, L prime, and M prime after reflection across the x-axis. So we can do this by doing the rule, or we can do it by graphing. Let's do it by graphing first. So I'm going to plot the points here. So K is 1, -2. So there's K. L is 2, -2. And then M is 3, 4. Okay, so that's a skinny little triangle there. All right, we're going to reflect across the x-axis. Okay, so K is 2 below. We need to make it so the x-axis is this axis right here. Okay, so K is 2 below. We need to go 2 above. So there's K prime. L is 2 below. So we need to go 2 above. There's L prime. And then M is 1, 2, 3, 4 above. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 below. And there's M prime. And then if we draw in that triangle, we can find the coordinates by simply writing out the coordinates. K prime is going to be 1, 2. L prime is 2, +2. And then M is 4. I'm sorry, 3, -4. Okay. The other way we can do it is we can use the rule. We know if we do a reflection across the x-axis, x, y.
Once again, those students are in the classroom for any reason, unless they are called out in the main office. If there's an emergency, then you can call the main office as well. We'll go from there, but no passes.
Okay, so x, y goes to y, x. I'm sorry, I was distracted by the, I don't know if you guys heard the announcements or not, but I'm sorry, x, y goes to x, opposite of y. Okay, so we're reflecting over the x-axis here. So if we write our coordinates down, 1, -2 is simply going to 1, +2. Okay, 2, -2, right, goes to 2, +2. And then 3, -4 goes to 3, +4. Right. So those would be your 3 coordinates of the reflected image. Right, number 3, find the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. So again, we can do this by graphing. Or again, we can use the rule. So the rule for reflecting across the y-axis. So the y-axis is your vertical axis. So the points are not going up or down, they're just going left or right. So the y value should stay the same. And this time we're going to change the sign on the x values. So xy goes to -x, y. And so if we do our points here, A is -1, -5. Let me use a text box because it'll be easier for me. Okay, so A is -1, -5. So that's going to go to A prime. Okay, so the X value is changing sign, so that's going to be 1, -5. The Y's stay the same. Okay, B is -2, 2. So B prime is going to be 2, 2. Right, we're changing the sign only on the X. C is -1, 0. So that one's going to become 1, 0. And then D is 3, -2. So D prime is going to be -3, -2. All right, so pretty simple and straightforward there. If you wanted to graph it, that's fine too. We would just have to count. So A is -1, -5. Right, this was A. So it's 1 to the left of the line of reflection. So we're going to go 1 to the right. So A prime would be here. And again, that would be 1, -5. We're flipping it left to right. I'm not going to graph the rest of that out though. Okay, I can leave that. Number 4, find the coordinates of P prime, Q prime, R prime, and S prime after the translation. According to the vector 4, -5 of the polygon PQRS. Okay, so you can draw this out on the graph if you would like. And then you can count out 4 to the right and 5 down. Right, so we would go to 4, 8 on the graph and we go 4 right and 5 down. And that would give us P prime. We'd go to 2, 6 on the graph. We'd go 4 right and 5 down. That would give us Q prime. We'd go to 2, 3. We'd go 4 right and 5 down. That's R prime. We go to 4, 5 on the graph and go 4 to the right and 5 down. That would give us S prime. Or we can simply take this number here, the horizontal shift, and we can add it to all of our X values. So P prime, we're going to do 4 plus 4 is going to give us 8. Okay, Q prime, that's going to be 2 plus 4 is going to give us 6. R prime, 2 plus 4 is going to give us 6. And then S prime, 4 plus 4 is going to give us 8. So we're adding 4 to all of our X values. And then we're going down 5. So we're going to subtract 5 from all the Y values. Right? So 8 minus 5 is 3. 6 minus 5 is 1. 3 minus 5 is -2. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, and that's going to be number 4. Number 5, what type of rigid motion does this describe? Well, we haven't done 3, 3 yet, so we haven't done rotations. So our only 2 options are translation or reflection. The first one here is clearly a reflection over a line in the middle. I just wanted a, there we go. So it's clearly being reflected over this line. And then this one is a translation. We're going right, and then we're going up, right? So we're shifting all the points right, and then up, right, and then up, right, and then up. So this one is a reflection. And this one is a translation. Okay, reflection, translation. Number 6, point A prime, 6, -3, is the image of the point 2, 3 under a translation. What is the image of 4, 1 under the same translation? So we have point A. Let me clear this. Whoops. Erase this and do the text box. Okay, so we have point A, which is going to be 2, 3. Okay, and that's going to A prime, which is 6, -3. Right? And so we can put this on the graph if you want and count, or we can just find what the difference is. So here we have a translation. Okay, we're going from 2 to 6. So we're going 4 to the right. And then we're going from 3 to -3. So we're going down 6. So our translation to get from A to A prime is 4 to the right and 6 down. They want us to apply that same rule to the point 4, -1. Okay, so 4, -1, if we go 4 to the right, that's going to be 4 plus 4. Right, and then -1, we're going down 6, so -1 minus 6. Right, so that's going to give us 4 plus 4 is going to give us 8. And then -1 minus 6 gives us -7. Okay, so from the point A and A prime, we established the rule that we're going 4 to the right and 6 down. So if we apply that same rule to the point 4, -1, that means we're going to go 4 to the right, that's 8, and then down 6, that's going to be -7. So that would be our point right there, 8, -7. Right, number 7, the rule 5, -3 is used for the 0.21. So the 0.21 might be right here. Okay, if we go 5 to the right and then 3 down, what quadrant do we end up in? We end up in quadrant 4, right? So our quadrants are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we're at the 0.21 and we go 5 to the right and 3 down, we end up in quadrant 4. So we just translate our point. If we wanted to do it this way, right, we're going 5 to the right, so that's 7, right? 2 plus 5 is 7. We're going down 3, so 1 minus 3 is going to put us at -2. And the 0.7, -2 is in quadrant number 4. Okay, number 8. What is the rule that maps each preimage to its image? So we are doing translations here, it looks like, for both of them. Okay, we're going from A to A prime, B to B prime, C to C prime, D to D prime. So again, I'm going to pick B and B prime, but you can pick any of them though. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, and 2 down. So our rule would be 5 to the right and 2 down. So -2, because we're going 2 down. B here, we're going 2 to the right and 1 down, right? And again, that's going to work for all the points. 2 to the right, 1 down. 2 to the right, 1 down. So our translation here is going to be 2 to the right. So that's +2. And then down 1 is a -1. Number 9, if a figure is translated with the rule -5, 5, which translation moves the point back to the original? So if we have a graph, okay, and let's take a point at 0, 0. We'll call it point A. So if we go 5 to the left and 5 up, and we're at A prime, right? So if we made A 0, 0, just hypothetically, A prime here is gonna, if we go 5 to the left and 5 up, we're gonna be at -5, 5. Okay, so we go 5 to the left and 5 up. Okay, how do we get back? We have to go, instead of 5 to the left to get back, we're gonna have to go 5 to the right and then 5 down. So to get back, we're gonna have to go 5 to the right and then down 5. So it's just the reverse of this one, right? If we go 5 left and 5 up to get back, we have to go 5 right and 5 down. Okay, same thing for this one. So you're going 2 to the left and 7 up. So to get back, we have to go 2 to the right and then 7 down. And that'll get us back to the original point. All right, number 11 and 12 here. We can do this two ways. We can do it by finding the midpoint, or we can do it by graphing. So if we go over Desmos here, I already had it pre-graphed for us. And so if we fill in, well, I didn't have it pre-graphed, but I messed up the question. So I had to edit out the part I got wrong. Sorry. But if we put in our, if we graph it, so we graph triangle ABC here. Okay, and then we graph the reflected image, triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. That's this one right here. Okay, if we can count here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 units between A and A prime. So half of 8 is 4. So we're going to put a point halfway between A and A prime right there. It's 4 units away from both of them. Okay, halfway in between. B and B prime here, 1, 2, 3, 4. B and B prime are 4 units apart, so half of 4 is 2. So the midpoint there is going to be 2 units away from both. We then have our line of reflection, which is going to be that vertical line right there, which is the line x equals 1. So we have a reflection across the line x equals 1 of the triangle A, B, C. Okay. If we do it without graphing and you just want to do the midpoints, that's fine. If we recall, our midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, right? We're just finding the average of the two x values and then the average of the two y values. Okay, so if we're looking at, again, this is -3 over 2. It's the negatives just cut off. So if we look at A and A prime, the two x values are -3 and 5. So -3 plus 5 divided by 2. And then your two y values are 2 plus 2 divided by 2. We get, that's 2 over 2. We get 1. That's 4 over 2. We get 2. Right, then we can do the two b values. So b and b prime. So that would be -1 plus 3 over 2. The two x values divided by 2. And then the two y values, -1 plus -1 divided by 2. Okay, -1 plus 3 is 2. -1 plus -1 is -2. -2 divided by 2 is -1. Okay, and we now have our 2 points that are in the middle. And we can use these to find the slope of the line. So if we find slope, slope is change in y over change in x. So that's y2 minus y1 over y2, or x2 minus x1. And that's going to give us -1 minus 2 over a 1 minus 1, which is going to give us -3 over 0. If we have a 0 in the denominator, our slope is undefined. Since the slope is undefined, we know it's a vertical line. So it's going to be a vertical line at x equals 1. So we have a reflection across the line x equals 1. Okay, so you can use the midpoint formulas to find 2 points, and then use those 2 points to find the equation of the line. Or you can graph it. All right, number 12, I'm just going to do it by graphing. So I'm going to clear or rewrite my numbers here. So I have number 12. I have 2, 3, 2 comma 3. I have -1, 2. And I have 4, 0. We're going to label that A, B, and C. Okay, and then the new one is going to be 2, -1. -1, 0. Oops. and then 4, 2. And that one is A prime. Okay, so I'm gonna draw in my two triangles. So my original one, A, B, C, here's A, there's B, there's C. And then my new one, there's A prime, there's B prime, and there's C prime. Okay, so if I'm looking at B and B prime here, they're 2 units apart, so halfway would be right there. A and A prime, 1, 2, 3, 4 units apart, so halfway would be 2 units from each. C and C prime are 2 units apart, so halfway for each would be right there. And so our line of reflection is going to be the horizontal line at y equals 1. So we have a reflection across the line y equals 1, and we're reflecting triangle A, B, C. Okay, and that's the review. If you want to use the midpoint formula, that's fine. You use the midpoint formula for B and B prime and A prime, or any combination of the two with C and C prime as well. And then you can use those to find the slope. You'll find that your slope is 0. And since you have a slope of 0, you know you have a horizontal line. Since the line's horizontal, it's whatever the y values are. And so you would have y values of 1. So y equals 1. And that's it for the review.